I have been using a DIY self-steering system called Sheet to Tiller to sail my boat Mirage on the Caribbean Sea single-handed for over a year now. This is a video of one of those sails. Port Authority, Port Authority, Port Authority, Mirage.
Mirage, Port Security, send your message.
You want to go to 1-4?
Yeah, 1-4.
Yeah, I'm clearing out right now. I'm headed to Key West.
Roger, you say you're clearing out. Where are you heading, sir?
Key West, Florida, United States.
Roger, copy that, sir. You clear from custom and immigration, sir?
Yeah, that's correct.
Roger. You have a safe voyage, sir, and see you on a return sometime to get in Cayman Islands, sir. Over.
Sounds good. Thank you. Enjoy your evening.
Roger, thank you.
So it's about 9 o'clock, and I just cleared out from customs. I cleared customs earlier today, but I told the Port Authority that I'm leaving. For some reason, they want to know everything about you, so anytime you move the boat, you have to let them know. Anyway, I'm headed to Key West. The weather looks good. Really light winds, so we'll see how that goes. I don't have an autopilot, so I'm going to have to use sheet to tiller the whole way, and I don't know. This will be a real test for the downwind version of it. Should take me 6 or 7 days, I think, to get to Key West, depending on the wind. It's going to be kind of slow, so anyway, we'll see how it goes. There's a bird that's trying to land on the mast, but he's having a hard time. It's a big bird, like a seagull-sized bird. Mirage has full sail up. That's something that hasn't happened in a very long time. I think Guatemala on the lake was the last time I had all the sails up. Feels real good. We're on a broad reach. Using the jib for the sheet to tiller. Seems to be steering fine. Yeah, so connect it up there. Comes back through this block. Same old same. I was actually able to get it to steer on a beam reach for once. Well, the list of things breaking continues. The motor bracket, the bolts on it are breaking, so I'm gonna have to tie it up somehow, and hopefully it doesn't break off so I can use it to get into Key West. The other thing is Mirage is still taking on water somehow, and I think I've narrowed it down to where the engine exhaust used to go out. It's just a hole in the boat, and it goes to a pipe, and I never plugged it. I got my plugs right here. I think this size will work. I'm gonna go whack it in. Alright, there's the plug. Hopefully that does the trick. Otherwise, I don't know. I'm kind of chasing myself around in circles trying to figure out where the water's coming from. And my motor bracket right there is broken. The bolt is. I've had it happen before, but I gotta tie the motor up now. We're just sliding along at about 4.5, almost 5 knots today. And we're on a broad reach. Sheet to tiller's doing its thing. I don't know, there's probably 12 knots, maybe 15. It's just absolutely stunning this whole trip. Last night the moon was out, so I just sailed by the moon. Wow, it's been amazing. This is so nice. I don't know if I've ever been on a sail that was this nice, where I'm making good speed, because I'm still doing 4.5, 5 knots, and there's like basically no waves. Kind of looks like a little nasty bit up yonder. I don't know though, it doesn't have the look of a squall, but it seems to be raining over there. The seas, I don't see any swell coming off of it. I don't know. I'm reluctant to reduce sail. Maybe it will pass. Or maybe I'll get hammered. This weather is wild. I don't know what to think of it. The wind hasn't shifted though, so I don't know. So you may be wondering what a seafaring traveler eats. A lot of people eat normal food, but I'm kind of a low budget sailor, so I don't have a refrigerator and anything like that. Also, I don't have a gimbaled stove, so this really limits me. A lot of the times whenever I'm sailing, I just eat like saltine crackers and cold canned food. And by gimbaled, I mean this is just stationary with the boat. A gimbal allows it to move, to stay level no matter what the boat's doing, and it gives you a lot more options as far as cooking. So like I'll be able to cook today because it's relatively flat, but I don't really have anything to cook because I usually don't bring vegetables because it's blah blah blah. So welcome to the pantry here, which is just a bunch of random canned goods and applesauce and whatever. So I think today, since it's a special day, I'm gonna be eating this beef stew. And I'll actually get to warm it up. Normally I eat it cold, so that's nice. And the stove is just an alcohol stove. I put burning alcohol in it and light it, and away she goes. Yummy. Wow, we're screaming now. It's actually pretty amazing how well the sheet tiller will do this. So we're on a broad reach right now, and yeah, the boat's so comfortable that I don't know if I'll ever go straight downwind. I mean, I'm sure there'll be times I go, but broad reach like this is pretty nice. So one thing that's interesting is right before I left Cayman 2 days ago, a little over 2 days ago, there was a ring around the moon 3 nights ago, and then a ring around the sun 2 days ago whenever I left. And I'd heard that means that there's ice crystals way up in the stratosphere, or whatever the troposphere, whatever the top one is. And that shows that there'll be a change in the weather. Generally, it'll become rainy or stormy of some sort. And today, it's definitely that. It's not like stormy as in bad weather, there's just been rain. And I've actually never been on the on the ocean whenever it's just rain without like squalls or wind changes. The wind hasn't changed at all. But I've taken my sails down and up and over several times because it looks like I'm just gonna get murdered. But the clouds, it's like I was saying earlier, the clouds are all very flat and mellow. They're not, they don't have the cumulus like big thunderhead mess going on. And that's how you know a squall. See, like over there, those aren't thunderheads. So I think that's like a warm front, maybe. I don't know, I'm trying to understand weather better, and I'm not really doing that great of a job. The squalls have like the anvil top. Those are kind of curved down, which I think means an approaching warm front. And the weather is warm, and it's kind of drizzly, which is normally associated with a warm front. So yeah, anyway, that's the weather lesson for the day. It's probably wrong, but that's what makes sense to me. There's Cuba right over there. The wind is very light. There's a nor'easter coming in Thursday, which is in 3 or 4 days. And I've got to make it to Key West, which is 250 miles. And there's really not a lot of wind, so I don't know. I hope I can make it in before it shows up. It's supposed to be 35 knots, gusting to 37, which is like a true gale. I really hope I don't get caught in that. No wind now. Very calm. Trying to decide if I want to hide in Cuba before this storm comes in, or see if I could make it. I don't know what to do. So calm. I'm able to motor at 3.5 knots with my little outboard. I've only got 4 gallons of fuel though, so we'll see how far that gets me. I'm trying to get into the Gulf Stream because it's 2.5 knots headed east. And so even if there's no wind, at least I'll be making 50 miles a day towards Key West. Well, I took the Yankee off since it's ripped, and I put the storm jib on because I don't think I'm gonna get to Key West before I get hit with that front. Yeah, kind of nervous about it, to be honest. We'll see what happens. So it's day 4, and in the morning. Getting around the west coast of Cuba has been a nightmare. The wind's very light, like 5 knots. And I've found a major shortcoming of sheet to tiller is light wind. Because whenever you do it, you introduce a slight inefficiency to the sail. And Mirage will sail on this, but sheet to tiller just does these wild oscillations, and no matter what configuration I do, it's just terrible. It's been so long since I've had light wind. Usually I would put on the autopilot right now because it's really easy on the autopilot, and it's not a big deal, but my autopilot's broken. So because I've got to make Key West before this system comes in. So I think I'm just gonna hand steer. I hand steered all, I don't know, probably 18 hours yesterday because there was no wind, so I motored. It's not always sunny in paradise. Oh! I just lost my other batten. My batten's right there. That's a piece that holds the sail out on the end. I told the people that I had helped me make the sail that I didn't want battens, and they insisted, and I so regret letting them put the battens in there. See, that's the battens go in that little pocket. Today's a complaining kind of day. So after over an entire year, I'm gonna finally sail back onto the chart. This Garmin's just had nothing to show for such a long time, so kind of cool. Last night there was quite a bit of wind, made good progress. Now it's lightning, I don't know, maybe 8 knots today. There's still some swell left over from last night, but I'm hoping by tomorrow I'll be at Key West. I think this is day 5. So it'll take me about 6 days total to get to Key West from the Caymans. Making my last pot of stew. So, got some soda crackers. I don't know what I'm gonna eat tomorrow. I've been eating one of these every day for the last, well, every day except for 4 or 5 days now I've eaten one of these. Well, it's the morning of day 6, and me and Mirage are bearing down on Key West. In just a few miles, we'll officially be back in the United States again after about a year and 1 month. So, feels weird. Also, I forget that it's still kind of winter. It's cold. Yeah, just this morning actually the front came through, or it's starting, but it's very mellow, which is nice. So it's a late in the year cold front, not an early winter one, thank God. But yeah, we're close hauled coming into Key West. I think I got 15 miles left, so another probably 4 hours to get in and anchor and all that stuff. Anchoring in Key West is a joke, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what temperature it actually is, but it's cold. It's probably like it's probably like 75 degrees, but that's cold for me. Well, my jib car took a poop. Well, I'm anchored. I went in, got some Wi-Fi, and checked in. So I'm officially in the United States. I'm in Key West now, so that's exciting. More information can be found in the Sheet to Tiller guidebook available on Amazon.